Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the Chronic Blue Jay here, and today we are back again with Fnia another story. Now this is, I have something to tell y'all before I go ahead and start the game. Um, I recorded I think 2 episodes, or like 3 episodes yesterday, and this is my second episode I am recording today. So all of these videos are in a 2 day span. Um, but yeah. So if something doesn't seem right or anything, um, it's because I went ahead and recorded them in multiple sessions in one day, and not multiple days. So yeah. So as I finish that, let's continue on with the story. By the way, this is true, but my curiosity took me far. I just wanted to look at what this person was doing, or rather why he turned off the cameras. I turned slightly and looked at the girls, standing literally behind me. Do they know something? Spring Bonnie knew, although she knows this because she personally followed him. I can still ask. Listen, do you happen to remember this person? I showed them the photo. They both looked at me. While they were watching, I turned my gaze to a video. The recording was made at night, so almost nothing happens. Without thinking twice, I closed the video. Did this person do something? Spring Bonnie said that she saw him turn off the security cameras. For what? I want to find out. Did you notice what he did after that? I think so. No. Oh, I think no. We were performing that day, so there was no point in watching a particular person especially. On what day? Date? Time? Anything? Last week on Wednesday. With this information, I quickly found the records for that day. There were very few of them. Apparently, most of the time that day, the cameras were turned off. Opened the very first video. The time was written on it at 11. The video went on for an hour, and this is only one camera near the entrance. It's good that I can rewind. And are you going to look through all the records for this day? I'm afraid you won't have enough time. Yes, I just need to find the moment when this person enters the building. Until I find this moment, it will be possible to simply switch the records as this person progresses. After viewing this record with multiple acceleration, I did not notice this person. The building was entered first by the staff and then by visitors, but not by him. In the following video, after about 36 minutes from the beginning of the video, the right person entered the building in the form of a technician. Finally, I found this moment. Frey and Chica did not leave the office, but during the time I watched the video, they became unnoticeably bored and they literally began to climb where they were not asked. They managed to completely inspect all things they were lying in 2 lockers at the same time talking about something, but I didn't listen to them at all. It seems that they didn't mention me in their conversations. When I told them aloud about my success, they were distracted from their studies and came up to me. What do you have? I noticed him. Chica suddenly put the flashlight right in front of me, which made me slightly twitch. Don't lose it anymore. Yeah, this is the person. I looked on the screen as soon as the man entered the building. He stopped in front of the exit and put 2 fingers to his ear. Most likely he had a headset. After standing there for about a minute, he nodded and looked at the camera. After that, he disappeared from the camera's field of view for several minutes. I wanted to close the video, but this person came back again and stood on something, turned off the camera. The video is over. I watched a few more videos, and they all ended with the fact that this man turned off the camera. Why did he do it? I'm afraid you won't find out. This is the last entry. I checked the folder with the recordings, and indeed after the cameras were turned off, there were no more recordings. It looks like they were no longer included, but how could you not notice that the cameras were turned off? Well, apparently I really don't know what he did. Well, that's fine. In this case, I don't need a computer anymore. I closed all the open folders and the videos and just walked away from the computer. For some reason, I did not turn it off. Instead, I looked at my wristwatch and realized it was time for me to leave soon. I underestimated that in such a short time period, I would not have time to do almost anything. I decided to leave. I think if someone is watching this build, namely for someone to be in it, then 25 minutes will not solve anything. Okay, I think I should go. See you later. Bye, John. See you tomorrow. Fred didn't say anything, but just nodded at me. Taking another bag of garbage, I headed for the exit of the building. This time, I came home early, which is not surprising since I left earlier. As soon as I reached the living room, I fell on the sofa and just stared at the ceiling thoughtlessly. I didn't use the phone during the night, but it was still almost completely discharged. I was thinking of replacing the phone by a new one, but still couldn't find the time. Most likely I will not find the time for this week. During turning on the TV, I began to fall asleep. There was a news channel on the TV, so I didn't really listen, but for some reason one news so interested in me. Opened my eyes and turned to the TV. The battle between the law and the crime is heating up. The head of Nesford Police, Jack Manning, said that the SCD is coming under the jurisdiction of the FBI. In the next few days, all police officers will be withdrawn from the SCD and special agents of the FBI will take their place. Previously, it was known that the people from the FBI were present in the police department, but now the police are completely transferred to one of their departments. Soon we will see that what will come out of this, and we will keep you up to date. Damn it, the FBI was not enough for us here. On the other hand, it will be safer now, much safer. In general, what difference does it make? I don't care about it, not yet. Turn off the TV, I quickly fell asleep. When I woke up, I almost fell off the couch. I unconsciously grabbed my right side with one hand and gave a little cry. Looking around, I realized that I was at home. My breathing was rapid. I think I had a nightmare. I moved myself to a sitting position and calmed down a little. No matter how hard I tried to remember what exactly I dreamed, I couldn't remember. In any case, nightmares tried to forget it and not remember. I didn't really get hung up on it. Quickly glancing at the clock, I began to get ready for work. I came to the auto repair shop closer to 16, and as soon as I entered, I immediately noticed Manny, who was repairing the car. He was angry. Most likely, he failed to do something. I came closer and greeted him. 2 hours of work. Manny pushed the toolbox hard, which caused it to fall, and the tool scattered in different directions. I watched and listened in silence. I absolutely did not want to fall under his outburst of anger. He went to the driver's door and lightly tapped on the door handle. While he did this, a knock was heard. That seemed to be the problem. I literally disassembled this car by the cogs and his handle was knocking. May kicked the car hard and left a dent in it. At the same time, the alarm went off. Shut up! May quickly opened the driver's door and started doing something inside the car. After a while, the alarm went off. It looks like he turned it off. I watched and waited for him to rest. He came to his senses in just a few minutes. Closing the car, he exhaled and looked at me. Hi, John. Hi, before you start destroying the car again, can you tell me if there's another job here? Yes, there are 2 cars over there. He pointed with his hand at the cars sitting on different lifts. He came closer and stopped in front of them. The car to your left needs a windshield replacement. As you can see, that is damaged, and the car on the right needs to change the hood. That guy wanted a hood with air collectors. Do we have such a hood? Yes, even a few. I think there should be a few sealable ones for this car. Having said that, I may walked away, continuing to tinker with the car. First of all, I decided to replace the windshield to begin with. I covered the dashboard and front seats with a film of the car interior to protect them from dust and dirt. Using a flat screwdriver, I removed the rubber seal located on the outside of the car. The wipers and plastic protection were also dismantled. Now I need to unscrew the screws and remove the sun visors. I carefully disconnected all the existing wires and sensors that go to the windshield and put them aside. With the help of a special pointed wire, I pierced the sealed seam, or old glue. I inserted a faceted train into this puncture and then attached the handles to its edges. Now I need to cut off the adhesive sealant. It is necessary to start the cut from the upper left corner because it is more convenient, but this procedure should be performed with someone else, in my case, May. Manny is located inside the cab and I am on the outside of the car. The principle of operation is simple. First, one person pulls the string on himself and the other keeps his section in a tight state. Then the string moves in the opposite direction. In this case, the string is shifted along the windshield. When the entire perimeter was cut, May left and continued to do what he was doing. I can also do further work alone. All that remains is to remove the windshield with the help of special suction cups. I carefully put the windshield aside, but I didn't have time to do anything more because the car drove into the auto repair shop. When the car stopped, I looked at her. A Lamborghini? What the hell is such an expensive car doing this in a place like this? I thought that all the more or less rich usually hang out in the center, say not on its outskirts. I went to the man who got out the car and stood and stared. Man, I don't know why, but my order was delivered to you. I ordered disc for my car. Okay, we'll take a look at the warehouse, but we need data about the disc, size, shape, anything. Preferably as accurately as possible. This is not a problem. The diameter of the central hole is 57.1 millimeters, and drill bit is 5 by 112. The fasteners are N14 by 1.5, and they are bolted. If you need specific data, then the disc itself is 8.5 J by 18 ET set C. Good, I'll be back soon. Everything that was needed was found quite quickly. The wheels, like its car, were quite expensive. Chrome plate, as far as I know. Chrome is not a cheap pleasure. I returned to the car with everything I needed and started working. First of all, I put the car on the jack and removed the wheel. I used a large slotted screwdriver to separate the brake pads. Then I unscrewed and removed the caliper in order to remove the brake pads with a screwdriver. Taking the collar and the wrench in my hands, I unscrewed the brake bracket with their help. Now, with the help of a hammer, I hit them diagonally into the ends of the seats of the disc. The disc easily bounced off the hub and I took it off. Putting it aside, I used the brake cleaner to wash the hub and install the new disc in this place. Then I cleaned the brake bracket and the guide fingers which I assembled and installed the bracket on the steering knuckle. I removed the anti-slip plates from the old pads and applied a heat-resistant lubricant to them. If you do not apply this lubricant, the pads will creak. After I cleaned the rest of the parts, I put them back in place and performed the same actions for the rest of the wheels. That's all? Great. After the man paid, he got into his car but did not leave. Apparently someone called him because he took out his phone and started talking to someone. I walked away and sat down in an armchair. He was already sitting in his armchair watching the man. How much do you think I will have to save for such a car working as an auto mechanic? After the man started the engine, as it seemed to me, he deliberately turned on the gas several times, or maybe he always does, who knows? For a long time. Someone is lucky, right? Yes. After the man stood for a little longer, he quickly left the car repair shop. For some time, the noise of the engine of the retreating sports car was heard. Before the end of the working shift, we finished working on the remaining cars and were able to safely go home. I got home almost at the same time as yesterday. I don't want to go anywhere at all. I just want to go to bed, turn on some movies, and just lie there. I should probably take the day off, otherwise I won't last long. I'll do it at the end of the week. 20,000 is not lying on the road. I should probably decide who I'm doing this night's work for the sake of money or for their sake. I woke up and I'm in a very good condition. I literally fell asleep in a sit position, which caused my body to ache a little. But after I walked around my house a little, everything was in order and I was ready to move to a second job. Arriving at the appointed office at the appointed time, I first looked into the office and took everything I needed from there. I already expected to fill the eyes of one person on me. I surprisingly did not notice her at all. On the other hand, this is good. It will be calmer for me. But on the other hand, if she has gone somewhere, then I will not feel very good. Though, where could she have gone? After I leave, I lock the building and when I return, I don't notice any signs of forced entry. This means that no one enters the building and even more no one leaves it. I am more than 100% sure that she will find herself and will continue to observe. When I went to the gaming room, the first thing I noticed was one of the arcade machines was moved away from the general pile and connected to the power supply. It seems that BB and Bonnie decided to play that day. BB had already moved all the garbage that was in the room to the door, so I started putting it in the bag. John, finally decided to clean up here. This sounds condemnatory. This is partly true, but it's not all your fault for all this mess. Were you here on the day of the party too? No, the first time I came here was 2 days ago. Well, okay. How can I help you? Do you really want to help? Yes. It's kind of like my room, and I'm in charge here. Ha! Well, if you want, take the wipe and dust off from the slot machines from the shelves for twice. Whatever you say, but keep in mind that next time I'll not be able to let myself be ordered around. You yourself have to help. You don't have to do this. She came up to me without a word and took the rag from me. After collecting all the garbage, I threw the bag aside and looked in the direction of the arcade machines. They need to be moved to their places and connected. It won't be difficult, but I will do it later because it seems to me that first I need to wipe the floor from the cafe. I took a broom and started raking the cafe into a pile. BB was dusting the shelves for twice. I stared at her for a little and she turned just at the moment when I was watching her. I quickly looked away and heard a small laugh. If you like me so much, then you can watch. Thank you, but no, I'm afraid I won't do the job then. In this case, work and do not get distracted. I quickly finished cleaning the floor from the cafe and just as quickly put it in the bag. After that, I started moving the arcade machines. They were quite heavy, but I coped with them. BB saw me immediately after I moved one arcade machine. Under her guidance, I arranged everything that she wanted. Well, looks like that's all. Yeah, thank you so much. I thought I heard a sound coming from the main hall, but I didn't pay much attention to it. When I looked at my wristwatch, I realized that I had about 2.5 hours left until the end of the shift. During this time, I think I'll be able to clean most of the main hall, or even completely clean it. Chica came into the room and came to me. She looked a little surprised. Did something happen? Someone came there. Seriously? Yes. I locked the door behind me. Well, okay. Let's go see who's there. Chica and I went to the main hall, but BB stayed in the game room, continuing to manage it. Chica led me to the entrance. The hooded man was standing there, looking around. He took off his hood, and as soon as he noticed me, and I realized that this guy was the guy who stopped by today to change the wheels on his sports car. When I came closer, he smiled. Wait a minute, you're the guy from the auto repair shop. What an unexpected meeting. What's the chance that you and I could be outside the auto repair shop? How should I know? Extremely small. I'm Alex. John, I'm sorry of course, but I have to ask you to leave the building, otherwise I'll have to call the police. You're kind of in charge here, aren't you? In fact, she is the main one here. I nod my head towards the stage where Freddy and Bonnie were. But you can say that. Super, do you mind if... Alex took one step towards the stage. I blocked his way. Please, Alex, leave now. Don't worry, John. I'm from the police. Alex took out his ID card and a police badge. He showed them to me and then put them away. And now, do you mind if I pass? I don't believe you. Look what I have. Alex took out and showed something that looked like an order. After showing it to me, he looked at it. A search warrant. This shit allows me to inspect this building for evidence of a crime. If you do not allow me to do this, I will consider you an accomplice to the crime, and I will use brute force. We don't need that, do we? No. Well, that's good. Now let me pass. So I think that's all that will do for today. So we met Alex, who, seems a little, interesting. And that's who I was talking about in the last video. If you didn't see that, he is the one who the story is mainly revolved around. And you'll see that in future episodes. But yeah. Other than that, we cleaned up BB's room. And yeah, so I'm not sure what else to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. As I said in previous videos, link to the game will be in the description down below. And yeah, everyone have a very good day.